For 10 days, Caitlin Clark said nothing. Everyone else talked. Every analyst, every former player, every network had a take on the play that consumed the league. And if you think Clark finally speaking was just a star venting about one bad call, think again. Because when she sat down and opened with a 5-minute statement before anyone could ask a question, she put a number on the table that the WNBA never wanted its biggest star saying out loud, and that number changes everything. Let us break it down from the beginning. Here is what was confirmed. On July 3, 2026, Clark broke her silence about the June 24th incident where Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas pressed her fist into Clark's throat during a loose ball sequence, a play officials missed live and the league retroactively upgraded to a flagrant 2 the next morning, suspending Thomas 1 game. Clark had stayed quiet through all of it, and when she finally spoke, she controlled the room. "I know what you guys are gonna ask," she said, "and I do think it was a flagrant foul, and our reffing just needs to be better." She confirmed the call was blown. "I don't really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You can go back and watch the clip." Then she widened the lens. "I think we really need to do a better job protecting the people in this league. I've been in a few of those plays, but there's been plenty others across the league that haven't got called." And then came the line that turned a press conference into a policy demand. "Overall, the league just has to do better. We have to invest in those areas. Technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better. Pay them like they're full-time employees. Pay them like they're full-time employees." Here is what most people watching did not realize. WNBA referees are not employees of the WNBA. They are independent contractors, paid per game, and the numbers are staggering side by side. A rookie WNBA referee earns an estimated $1,500 per game. A 20-year veteran earned about $2,500 a game last season. In the NBA, referees are full-time salaried employees earning between $150,000 and $500,000 per year. That is the gap. The best women's league in the world, in its 30th season, expanded to 15 teams, riding a media deal worth billions, is asking the people officiating its games to do it as part-time contractors, earning $1,500 a night. And the face of the league just said that out loud, on the record. Sue Bloch, the WNBA's head of referee performance and development, essentially confirmed the structure last year, describing the pay as a hybrid between per-game money and a stipend for the other work. A stipend. Those are not the words of a league investing in its officials the way its ambitions demand, and that is exactly what Clark was pointing at. If you want better officiating, you have to attract better officials. If you want to attract better officials, you have to pay them like the job matters. The referees who missed the fist to Clark's throat earned $1,500 a game. That is not an excuse for the miss, but it is an explanation the league can no longer afford to ignore. Now here is where the story gets bigger than one player, because the concerns do not stop with Caitlin Clark, and this is the part the league office does not want getting out. According to The Athletic, coaches and general managers from 8 different WNBA teams agreed that officiating quality remains subpar and that resources, accountability, and investment are desperately needed. 8 teams, more than half the league. One coach told The Athletic directly, "Dangle a bigger carrot, pay them more money, go get better talent to come to the W. I don't think we have the best talent, we have the best league in the world, but we don't have the best talent." That is a coach saying anonymously the exact thing Clark said on camera. And the evidence from 2026 backs every word. This has not been one blown call. The Chicago Sky were told after a June 20th loss to Dallas that 3 critical calls were all incorrect, not judgment calls. Officially confirmed by the league incorrect. In another game, officials failed to realize Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell had fouled out and let play continue before Indiana could sub her off. USA Network analyst Megan McPeak said on the broadcast, "I hate to say it, but that's gross unawareness." WNBA legend Tamika Catchings added, "This should never happen." Atlanta Dream guard Jordan Canada, after a loss to Washington, was so frustrated she said, "I'm going to get fined, but I don't care." Her teammate Alicia Gray went on live television and flatly called the referees trash. This is not Caitlin Clark alone. This is a league-wide revolt, and Clark just became the most powerful voice attached to it. And here is why the pay gap matters more than it looks. NBA referees are not just paid more, they are developed year-round as full-time professionals. They study film constantly. They travel with the league. They have performance reviews, accountability structures, and a career ladder that makes officiating a genuine profession worth committing to. WNBA referees, as independent contractors, work a compressed season, hold other jobs, and receive what the league itself calls a stipend for the off-season work. That structure does not just produce lower pay. It produces a shallower talent pool, less experience, and officials who are learning on the job in the middle of the most physical, fastest-growing product in women's sports. Clark's call for better technology fits directly into this. The fist to her throat was caught only when slow-motion replay and freeze frames circulated after the game. If the tools available to officials in real time were more sophisticated, the contact might have been flagged on the spot, and the landing space foul that hurt her back might have been penalized before it ever happened. Better pay attracts better officials. Better technology helps the officials you have. Clark asked for both in the same breath, and neither is something the league can honestly say it has delivered. Now, to understand why this is so damning, go back 1 year, because the league already promised to fix this and failed. During 2025 All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert acknowledged officiating had become one of the league's biggest problems. In 2025, poor officiating overshadowed everything, from playoff races to the WNBA Finals. Coaches blasted referees, players questioned every call, and Engelbert promised the league would do better, so they assembled a task force of coaches and executives to study physicality and consistency. They hired longtime official Eric Bruton as a development advisor. They did the things a league does when it wants to look like it is solving a problem. And then 2026 arrived. A fist to the throat missed live. 3 wrong calls in one Chicago game. A player fouling out with nobody noticing. 8 teams telling the Athletic nothing changed. The task force did not fix the thing it was created to fix. Now, to be completely fair to Clark, this is the part that separates what she did from a simple attack. She did not only criticize, she defended the very officials who missed the call, acknowledging referees have one of the hardest jobs in sports. Her point was never that the individuals were incompetent, it was that the system failed them by refusing to invest. And then she did something almost nobody expected. She used part of her statement to condemn the harassment Thomas and her teammates had received. In the days after the foul, Thomas and her teammates, including her partner DeWanna Bonner, had received death threats and had their home addresses leaked. Clark, the player who took the fist to the throat, stood up and said none of that is okay. She said no player should be subjected to that because of something that happened in a game. She did not name Thomas. She refused to let the story be about one player against another and redirected it toward the league. She even turned it on the media and on herself. Clark said she had been watching other games over the weekend and was surprised the incident was still being discussed. There's so much amazing talent, she said. She felt bad for the players in those games and for her own teammates who had dominated on Friday, and nobody wanted to talk about it. It's all of our jobs to help refocus the narratives, she said, and we can do better at that. Think about that. The player at the center of the biggest controversy in the league was asking everyone to talk about the actual basketball instead of the drama around her. And here is the thing that puts it all in perspective. The reason this changes everything is not the content. People inside the league have said the referees are underpaid for years. The difference is who said it this time. Caitlin Clark is not just another player at a podium. She is the single most commercially valuable athlete in the history of women's basketball. She is why the media deal looks the way it does, why arenas sell out, why ratings collapse when she does not play. When that person says the league has to pay its referees like full-time employees, that is not a suggestion from an unhappy player. That is the face of the product making a public demand on behalf of the product itself. And a league that depends on Caitlin Clark for its growth cannot wave that away the way it waved away 8 anonymous coaches and a task force nobody remembers. So the question now is whether the league listens, whether it treats officiating as an investment instead of a line item, whether the technology improves so a fist to the throat gets caught live instead of on a freeze frame the next morning, whether the referees earning $1,500 a game get treated like the professionals a billion-dollar league should demand, or whether we are sitting here again at the 2027 All-Star Game, listening to the same promises, watching the same missed calls. Clark knew what they were going to ask. She answered before they could. And she turned a question about one blown call into the clearest public reckoning with WNBA officiating that the league's own biggest star has ever put on the record. That does not disappear when the cameras turn off. So here is the question for you. Do you think Caitlin Clark is right that the WNBA needs to pay its referees like full-time employees, or will we be right back here next season? Drop your answer in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe, because this story is nowhere near finished.